Hi dear students, in the previous session we discussed about the Bryophyta general properties and also other group of organisms which comes under the same, and also the economic importance. In this session we are going to take up the next division of a kingdom Plantae, that is Pteridophyta. We will first understand the general properties in detail and later we will move to the unique nature in which comes under different classes. ಸೊ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆರಿಡೋಫೈಟಾದಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್ ದಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್. ಸಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ದ ಟೆರಿಡೋಫೈಟ್ಸ್, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ the first vascular plants. See, these are the first vascular plants. First vascular plants. The word vascular refers to the presence of conducting tissues. Presence of conducting tissues. When it comes to algae and bryophytes, these conducting tissues are absent. Those are xylem and phloem. These two are absent in case of algae and bryophyte. But when start from pteridophyte, there will be a presence of vascular tissues. So those are xylem and phloem present in these group of organism. So that's why these are commonly called as primitive tracheophytes. These are commonly called as primitive tracheophytes. So here these are commonly called as primitive tracheophytes as because of the presence of vascular property. This is one most important nature. And next we will take up the other general property. Here these are found on so these are the first plants found on terrestrial habitat. First plant groups found only on terrestrial habitat. Found only on terrestrial habitat, purely terrestrial, right? Instead, along with this, these require water for their reproduction. Water for their reproduction. So that's why these are called, commonly called as reptiles of plant kingdom. Plant kingdom. Plant kingdom. As they are living on terrestrial mode, so that's why these are called as reptiles of plant kingdom. And due to the presence of these two property, these are said to be the phanerogams. We know that the classification is based on the vascular property and also seed bearing property. ಎರಡು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. In that first is seed bearing property and non seed producing organisms and seed producing organisms. Algae and bryophytes cannot able to produce the seeds, and that's why these are said to be this one cryptogams anta karididvi. And these few group of organisms which are higher and advanced in nature, they can able to produce the seeds. So that's why they are called as phanerogams. One of the property which taken for classification, and other property based on the vascular tissues we took. So that's why here these can able to produce the seeds, but in a definite embryo there will be a indefinite seeds are going to be produced. ಈ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಸೀಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. In one definite particular embryo there will be a formation of a seeds will takes place. So that's why these are called as a phanerogams. And the next property found in, these are found in moist, shady, damp and cool areas. Cool areas. Why? Because here shady, it refers to the absence of direct sunlight, and damp, it refers to the presence of high humidity, and then cool means there will be a presence of wet habitat. Moist is also refers to the presence of water. So that's why they found in moist, shady, damp and cool areas. And the next is, so there is a presence of more than 400 genera, of which nearly 10,500 species are there. Number of species present in pteridophyte is around 10,500 species. Here they are, here the pteridophytes can be differentiated into true roots, stem and leaves, but in most of the pteridophytes stem is underground, as the roots are underground, but in case of pteridophytes both roots and stem are underground in nature, and later a part of a stem come out of the ground portion and later it bears a leaves. So we will write down these two diagrams to understand the presence of true root, stem and also the leaves. The only difference is, as the roots are underground in nature and stem and leaves will be aerial in nature, but when it comes to pteridophytes only, they are having their roots and stem in the underground portion which are creeping. ಹೀಗೆ ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅರಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೈತೆ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ಸೇವಂತಿಗೆ ಹೂ ತೊಗೋಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪುದೀನ ಸೊಪ್ಪು ತೊಗೋಬೋದು, ಈಗ ಗರ್ಕೆ ತೊಗೋಬೋದು, ಹುಲ್ಲು ಗರ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ರೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೀಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೇಲೆಗಡೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಎರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ಚರ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಥರ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ರೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ pteridophytes ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ರೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ where they can run their stem and roots along the surface area, right? So this is a most important property. And next we'll move to the organisms exhibit two different stages of development. The first one is sporophytic development, sporophytic stage, and the other is, so this is first one, and the second is gametophytic stage. Sporophytic and gametophytic stage. As we discussed about the bryophytes, they exhibit sporophytic and gametophytic stage itself. That is, the presence of these two kind of stages of development, this is considered as alternation of generation. Exact alternation of generation is present. Generation is present in pteridophytes also. They can alternate with themselves, where in case of bryophytes, ಇದು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಬೇಕು ಹಾಗಾಗಿ. where in case of bryophytes, first will be the gametophytic stage, and the next will be the sporophytic. Here this will become the dominant stage, and this will be the independent one also. Here it is again little bit lesser stage, and they took a very short span of time, and these are dependent on sporophytic stage is dependent on the gametophytic stage, as it is present in bryophytes. But when it comes to the pteridophytes, the sporophytic stage is dominant. I will express this here. The sporophytic stage is dominant compared to the gametophytic one. Here it requires very short lifespan. and I will rub this one. Exactly, there is an alternation of generation with the sporophytic stage and the gametophytic stage, and gametophytic stage and the sporophytic stage. How it forms? First is sporophytic stage, next comes the gametophytic stage, again it comes to the sporophytic, again it goes to the gametophytic. Like this, there will be a cycle like appearance when it comes to the alternation of generation. So this is called as alternation of generation, which is present in case of pteridophytes. And next is the plant body, how it looks, right? So here the plant body possess root and stem, root, stem and leaves. Here the leaves shows, when it comes to leaves, it shows two different structures. One is larger leaves and other is smaller leaves. The larger leaves the larger leaves are female, and smaller leaves are male. The larger leaves are called as microspores, sporophylls, and smaller leaves are called as megasporophylls. I will see, microsporophylls will be the male and megasporophylls will be the female. The first one larger, female, megasporophylls. And smaller male, microsporophylls. Don't be confusing. See, when it comes to root, stem and leaves, the roots are adventitious, almost they are adventitious in nature, and we know that the types of root system, taproot system, fibrous root system and the adventitious root system. When it comes to pteridophytes, adventitious root system will be there. This is one thing. And stem is not hard, but it is soft. Smooth and soft will be there. Smooth and soft stem will be there. And when it comes to leaves, the leaves show two different structures, and here the leaves are considered as a spore bearing structures. Spore bearing structures on their ventral side. Structures on their ventral side. So this type of condition, spore bearing structure on their ventral side when it comes to leaves. Here the pteridophytic leaves bears spore structures on their ventral side, and that is called as sporophylls. How it looks exactly? See, take one example. I have taken this as one of the stem which bears leaves, and this is soft stem. Upon this there will be a presence of single vein containing leaves on this. Single vein containing leaves will be there. I am writing the Selaginella. One example, Selaginella. And there will be a one vein. I told that one vein will be present for each and every leaves, right? And when we take only single leaf, this is a single leaf. When we observe this single leaf as it is like this, one will become the upper surface and other will become the lower surface, right? So we consider this as a lower surface and this as a upper surface. And in biological term, it is called as adaxial surface, and this is as abaxial surface. Adaxial surface and abaxial surface. And the lower surface bears, consider this as a lower surface. It bears a brown patches like structure. A brown patches like structure. I will send you one picture to understand this. A brown patches like structures which are present on the lower or abaxial surface, and those are called as a spores, spore bearing structures, and those are said to be sporangium. Spore bearing structure are called as sporangium. Inside this there will be a spores. There will be a spores. Like this, the spores will be there, and we'll find out the detailed structure of this later. Now what I am going to tell you is the leaves which bears a sporangium on its lower surface are called as a sporophylls. Why I am telling about this as a sporophylls? Because it possesses the spores, right? And later the leaves will exhibit two different structures. Again, some of the leaves will be larger and some of the leaves will be smaller one. If the leaves are larger and they are considered to be the female one, and they are commonly called as megasporophylls, and the leaves are smaller, then they are considered to be male one, and they are commonly called as microsporophylls. These bears female gamete producing structures megasporangium, and these bears microsporangium. Here megasporophylls possess megasporangium, sporangium, and these microsporophylls consists of microsporangium. Microsporangium. Inside it microspore will be there, inside this megaspore will be there. Megasporophylls are the female leaves and microsporophylls are the male leaves, and these are smaller and these are larger one. In megasporophylls, megasporangium will be there. This is considered as a megasporangium, and microsporangium will be the another one, which will be the male leaves. And right now megasporangium bears megaspores within that. These are the megaspores, and in microsporophyll there will be a microsporangium and it consists of microspores. Artha agide idishtu leaves, regarding leaves. And we consider that the next one, if the leaves which are present in this condition, which bears a stem on a one axis, so it is possible to observe this here only. In some of the plants of a pteridophyte, it bears a presence of an aggregate of spore bearing structures. And these aggregate of spore bearing structures are called as a cones. Or otherwise these are also called as strobili. In some of the plants of pteridophytes which possess an end of the leafy structure, there will be a presence of aggregate of spore bearing structures, and these aggregate of spore bearing structures are called as a cones or strobili. This will be a 1 mark question, and here also sporophyll will be a 1 mark question for this. Now when we consider the next point of this, some of the plants of pteridophytes will be homosporous, and some of the plants will be heterosporous in condition. What do you mean by homosporous and heterosporous? Here this will be a 2 mark question again. Homosporous refers to the plant bears same type of leaves, only one type of leaves. Either the megaspores or maybe the microspores. ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೋಮೋಸ್ಪೋರಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. If the same plant bears two different type of leaves, one is megaspore and other is microspore, and those are called as heterosporous plants. So clear about this, homosporous and heterosporous. If the plant bears same type of either megaspore or maybe the microspore type of leaves, then that is called as homosporous. ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟು ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರಸ್. And these are, so this is considered as a heterosporous plant and this is considered as a homosporous one. So this is observed in case of, heterosporous condition is observed in case of Selaginella. I will explain in detail regarding this Selaginella. So which comes under Lycopsida ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರದ ಲೀವ್ಸು ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್. So we'll take up this reproduction easier. As they possess male and female structures in detail, so that's why the reproduction will be completely sexual method. Reproduction is completely sexual method, and in that it is homogamous type of reproduction. What is homogamous? One of the gamete will be motile, male will be motile and it is small, okay, and other female will be there, other is female which is stationary or non-motile and it will be larger one. Here the reproduction in case of pteridophyte is purely sexual method and in that it is oogamous method, because we observe that sexual method is of three different types: isogamous, anisogamous and the oogamous type of reproduction. But when it comes to pteridophytic sexual method of reproduction, it exhibit oogamous reproduction where one of the gamete will be motile, smaller and it will be male, and other gamete will be non-motile and larger which is female one. So this type of gametes will fuses to form a zygote and later they develop into a gametophyte, then spore, and later a new plant body will be formed. So we'll discuss about the life cycle of a pteridophyte in detail in the next session. Okay, I hope you understood. Make a pause of this video for writing the notes properly, because it consists of very different properties which will be helpful to answer the CET questions. Okay, thank you dear students.